Minister Salvini, the far-right leader, was asking very, very aggressively the EU and Malta, for example, to host boats, rescue boats instead of
so sending them away.
Yeah, sending them away. What changed now is that instead there is a new strategy. So in the last few days, 2 boats reached the shores of Italy, Sicily, if I'm not mistaken, so the southern island. And what happened there is that women, children, and in general people, vulnerable people, so sick people, were allowed to disembark, but basically male adults were forced to stay on the boat. So the new approach, and I read an analysis of this, that the Italian government is trying to take is basically appeasing the European Union, so say we're taking care of the vulnerables, while appeasing far-right voters and say we are turning back adults, healthy adults. And first of all, there is no place to turn them back. And that's the first thing to understand. People are fleeing conflict, famine, looking for better opportunities, but going back to, for example, Libya is an incredible risk for these people, a death sentence. So first of all, there is no place to turn them back. Second, and what happened while this situation was
it's illegal to turn them back.
It's completely illegal from any international law. So I don't know if you want to elaborate on that.
You can't turn back refugees, and you don't discriminate based on age or gender. It's not because you have women or children. Men are just as, it's not about deserving anyhow, have just the same right to access protection. It's not, you don't say, oh, you're a woman, yeah, come in, you're a man. No, it doesn't work this way. If you're a refugee, if you have an asylum claim, if you arrive in such a situation, you have a right and you cannot be returned. It's the law against refoulement. You cannot be returned under international law. It is insane to do this. And just to jump on one thing, to put also the focus on the boats themselves. Those boats, I think this one is Humanity 1 or something like this.
Yeah, one of them is that.
Yeah, there's a lot now waiting to dock. Those boats are doing the job that government should be doing. So they are incredible. Those are heroes operating those boats that are actually saving human lives. Yeah. Again, governments are failing. They are not putting in place safe humanitarian corridors. People will never stop migrating when they're fleeing and when they have no choice. But they will take more dangerous routes if you don't have safe ones.
Absolutely.
Governments are failing. They're militarizing the Mediterranean, and as a result, people are taking even riskier routes. And then they're not even saving them, which you have to do when you have someone literally drowning next to you. You have to save them. And so humanitarian organizations are literally operating those boats. People are living on those boats, operating them, raising money for them. By the way, go and donate to those boats. Raising money for them and saving people every single day. And then it's extremely difficult for them to be able to actually finish to save them and bring people to a safe haven. And as a result, right now, some of the boats have less, I think migrants, by the way, were finally allowed to disembark.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to get there.
Yeah, but as a general thing, have less, you stay on a boat without healthy sanitation, without enough food, and so on and so forth. And the management of those boats has become incredibly difficult because countries are basically trying to stop them from operating.
Yeah.
So funding and so on is more and more difficult. This pisses me off so much.
So just to close the story, at the end, people were allowed to disembark after many days, which meant that not only all the far-right rhetoric was completely useless, but basically it caused massive suffering because a lot of these people got a fever, other infections, mental health struggle, and at the end they are on the ground as well. So let's not, I would say...
and the boat could not rescue other people in the meanwhile because it was stuck.
Yeah. And also in international pricing, horrible, I'm ashamed of being Italian when this thing happened. But then it's just one of the news about migration. Second, the sad part is that all these news are negative, so we'll go